your life convenience will not only pay our members also help us give back.
There we go.
Scholarships, random acts of kindness, and more. Thousands of Arizonans already joined Desert Financial, located inside the Payson Warming.
That's right. A big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio. Hopefully you're enjoying the nice wet weather out there. Bring on the snow. I know some of you don't want to hear it, but oh well. I want snow, and I think it's pretty, and we need it, so it's good. Hey, in the studio today, we have guests, a couple guests from the Payson Warming Center, Emily Morton and Will Parz. Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Good morning, Chris.
And also we have Dustin Bullard from the Muggian Treatment Center. And you guys working closely together and forming a really great relationship and helping each other out in a lot of ways, and we'll learn about that. But I thank you guys for coming in last moment, really. I just contacted you yesterday. We had a cancellation, and I thought it would be appropriate. It's good timing with the weather coming in and everything you're doing to help the homeless in the community, especially during the times of inclement weather, cold weather. Right now, people need a place to stay. So thank you for everything you're doing in the community for them. And it'd be great to get an update and hear about what you guys have going on, and maybe some needs and things people can do to help out. So Emily, the chef Emily, which cooking for everyone there, the entire crew. I know there's a lot of people that help out in the community. I know we get food, and we announce, what is it, the farmers market, the, what is that called?
Market on the Move.
Market on the Move,
Yes,
that's
I love
right. And there's some people that help out, bring some food over to you guys, don't they?
Yes, thanks to Market on the Move. They help supply food once a month at the Sawmill Theater, and it's open to the community, so absolutely everybody can partake in that. You don't have to be homeless, you don't have to be in need. If you are a foodie and you can use that food, it costs $15. You get about 200 pounds of food, I believe. So,
yeah. And then they bring some food over if they have extra. Do they bring?
They donate all their overflow to the community food banks like St. Vincent de Paul, Presbyterian Church.
Gotcha.
Lots of
for
mangoes.
Christ.
Yes.
Mangoes.
Lots of mangoes.
Lots of everything. Every month it's different, so it's a blessing.
Squash, mangoes.
Cherry tomatoes this last
Yes.
month. A lot of cherries, tomatoes, and squash, I think.
We had some citrus dropped off last night by Tim the Citrus Man. He
Oh,
usually has a
that's
cart
great.
up
He's a
on,
veteran.
Yeah.
on the Highway
I
260.
love that guy.
and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people come by unannounced, unasked, and just drop off, you know, extra bread, like from Jimmy John's. So it is definitely a community effort. We have a lot of people that just stop by on their way home and drop off things.
Yeah.
So it's very much appreciated.
And how, is there a specific time or, you know, a place?
We open the center at 4
Okay.
every day.
Okay.
Days like today, we're usually there early.
Okay.
We have our community dinner at 5 every night. That's free and open to the public. We have a lot of families just dropping by just because they're having a hard time making ends meet. You don't have to be homeless to join us and socialize with your neighbors and our community.
And get to know them.
And then we have showers available. We have resources. We have people like me and Emily and Dustin around to try to help people move on to a better path. And then, depending on the weather, we may open the bunkhouse. And tonight we will be opening the bunkhouse.
Gotcha.
Because of the weather. If anybody's stranded out there or sees people living in their cars, stranded, coming through town, please get them to the warming center. Our police department will assist if need be with this emergency. So let's pull together tonight, Payson.
And now, location, just in case some people watching and listening, again, watching on the KRIM Facebook page or on our YouTube channel.
It is next to Safeway and Speedway, so it is the Mount Cross Lutheran Church located at 601 East Highway 260 Building A. It's the old Sanctuary and Church.
Mm-hmm.
When you pull in, you'll see that there is a beautiful church to the right,
Mm-hmm.
and then a beautiful older church to the left. We are the
Uh-huh.
older church. And it is
There we
a
go.
church. We actually are operating out of a beautiful old Lutheran
Yeah.
church that came together with the mayor, Tom Morrissey.
Mm-hmm.
We are at coffee at the fudge shop before he had become mayor,
Uh-huh.
and there was other homeless people. I was homeless at the time, and I
Uh-huh.
had 3 other teenagers couch surfing after I got into a home.
Mm.
So within 3 weeks of talking to him, I got into a home, and when I got into a home, my son was 15 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
His friends were struggling. Maybe his parents were struggling with drug abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was a physical abuse, but safe home was not at home. So they came to my home and laid on the floor, on the couch, my son's room, and I was like, that's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just got off of homelessness. Within 3 weeks, I'm now helping people. I need to talk to people. So
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to all the people running at the time, and everybody was really concerned, and a lot of people came together.
Mm-hmm.
Tom really made it happen. Within a week, we were at the Ponderosa Bible Church
Mm-hmm.
with Michelle Nelson, a whole bunch of other people that were trying to do research and give
Mhm.
what they've seen in the community for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And within a couple months, the Mount Cross Lutheran Church said, hey, we have an old sanctuary and an old Boy Scout like camp that we use for seasons.
It's like
Mhm.
a Camp Tonazona style
Yeah.
building. That's cool.
Yeah.
With 15 men beds
Uh-huh.
and 15 women beds.
Yeah.
But we use some of the units for family units so they can stay together. When our
Gotcha.
season, like today happens, we get anywhere from 35 to 50 people.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Lots of kids too.
lots of children, and we've never seen this since COVID. We're getting more homeless kids and more elderly people we've ever seen,
Mm.
and our veterans are really struggling right now since the COVID and the restrictions, whether the politics, whatever. Our veterans are really suffering mentally, and they're not getting the right resources. So
Mm-hmm.
thank God for Will Parz. He
Mhm.
is a Purple Heart veteran. He is a
And an
retired
attorney.
lawyer,
Uh-huh.
and hopefully going to be legal in the state of Arizona, but he helps our veterans, and he's connecting resources that we did not have until just recently.
Mm-hmm. I know I saw the post the other day where you had helped a veteran get VA benefits, and just pointing veterans in that direction, knowing what's available to those
Well,
that.
I can tell you, I've walked the walk,
Yeah.
and it's been a hard walk since I've been home from the war.
Mhm.
I was a homeless veteran myself before I came to Payson, which is why this is a cause very dear to my heart and something I understand.
Mhm.
Because of COVID, the restrictions, the lockdown, and some of my own personal issues, I ended up homeless. It also brought me to Payson. So I'm here to do the Lord's work with Emily and Dustin and Christina, and also Tom. Tom's been the pioneer in getting this initiative started, and we're actually going to start moving this up to a higher level to try to address some of the root causes. We have a shortage of workforce housing here in Payson. Tom's asked me to be on his task force, and he's trying to connect with his connections down with the Arizona Republican Party and also the Democrats. He's meeting with Senator Kirsten Sinema. He's good friends with Jim Lehman. Jim Lehman's donated recently $10,000 to the Warming Center, which has helped us get through the winter. He's helping us. He's offered to buy some property for us, and in conjunction with Tom's connections down with the state, he's friends with Tom Simplot with the Arizona Department of Housing. They're trying to get us some modular homes up here, trailers, get them retrofitted, put that on the land, on a campus, and hopefully we can start addressing some of these root causes of our homelessness, working families, elderly, veterans, and people that have substance abuse problems. We're going to try to move forward with more of a team approach, community approach. We all have a part to play, and it's great that Dustin Bullard here just opened the Mongolian Treatment Center. So hopefully we can get people that are having substance issues into a detox program, and get them onto a better path in life.
When
Yeah.
when I was over at the warming center at the beginning when me and Emily and all this were hanging out, helping people over there, I started running into a lot of addicts and stuff like that, and there's a big need for that in that community. But a lot of the people that need help don't have drug issues. They just have things that are going on in their life that they can't figure out or get through. Something that seems easy, like registering your car, might seem like a big task to them, and they just need like some case management, some help, just to make sure, because then they'll go drive without their registration or insurance, and they get popped. They get their car impounded, then they're showing up at the warming center to get their car out of impound. So we do a lot of that too, helping people get their cars out of impound. We work with the police chief, who's great, and the Adam Shepard, the sheriff. A lot of the officers, when they come over to the warming center, they'll have people that they could have taken to jail a million times, but they just don't want to. They want them to get help. And that's why people like Emily and Skylar and Will and Christina and myself are there to help those people. When the families get exhausted, they don't want to talk to them, they don't want to be around them, like, we'll take them, we'll make sure they're safe and get them the resources they need. And if they happen to be on drugs, then I can help them specifically with that. But
yeah, we're problem solvers, and each of us brings our own expertise to the table. I am an attorney. I've applied for my license here in Arizona. I hope to provide some legal aid for people that are in desperate needs. But we're all problem solvers. Christina Furlong, she's a business owner here in town with her husband Brandon. That whole family.
back to basics.
Yeah, back to basics.
Oh yeah.
They have a lot of relationships here in the community that help us problem solve things on a local level. I'm a great resource for connecting veterans to benefits and resources anywhere.
Yes.
Dustin has the treatment center piece. Emily has the chef experience, and she's also she's very dear to my heart. I look at her like a sister. She's been an angel in my life, and keeps me going. When I had no hope, I found a family here with Emily, Sky, Christina, and now Dustin, and it feels good to be your home in Payson. It does.
And that's wonderful for people coming into the warming center.
Yeah, we try to share that feeling with everybody. We're family.
Yeah, to be loved on.
Yeah.
To be shown love.
Give people hope.
Yeah, that is very important if they haven't felt that in a while. They haven't had hope, they haven't felt love. So it isn't just about, I guess, warming the body, but also warming the heart.
And the soul.
Yeah, and the soul. Yeah, and Dustin, it seems to be really great timing with the Muggen Treatment Center. There has been a need for a long time in Payson for a facility like yours.
Yes.
And it is a case where I mean, you have the experience and are really, I think, coming at it the right way too.
Yeah.
How you're developing it.
There's a lot of different models that people use for it. Me personally working in it, it's exactly the same thing that I said about the warming center. I'll have someone come into treatment that you can just tell they're super sharp, they're fully capable, but they just don't have the right instruction, the right direction, or maybe they just don't want to hear it from their parents. Sometimes their parents are like the perfect people and their kids turn out whatever way, good or bad. And sometimes they need someone that they can look to when they get on drugs and not hear it from their parents because they've heard it so many times and it's just too traumatic for them to hear it from them. So if I can sit down with them and be like, what's up, dude, blah, 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 talk to them, and then start explaining them different things later on down the road and helping them create a budget and build their credit and do things like that, that's what we're going to start implementing through the warming center as well, is like helping people with that case management. But a lot of the times the root cause of all of the issues in their life is drug related, but not always. But sometimes when it comes, or it's not directly them that's affected by the drug, it could be their mom or their dad or whoever, and so now they're 18 with nothing because their parents were using drugs. So it always kind of resorts back to drugs, and then that could cause them to use later on down the road even if they haven't started using. So getting to know the people early on and getting to figure out their situation. And like, I see people walking around town all the time, and I know every single person. So does she, so does Will. We know them all by first name, but it's good when you get to know them, because then they aren't just some loser or whatever that the society might look at them like.
Yeah.
It's just our little buddy with a name.
Yeah.
That we
Yeah.
go talk to them.
So substance abuse is a mental health disorder. So that is a bodily health disorder. We don't ever in society take mental health the same as physical health. We almost take it, they're different, but the body, mind, and spirit is one body. So our mental health is very important. So substance abuse is a mental health disorder, and I like to stress that because if you look at it like that, it's more approachable to getting help and receiving the help. But the only way to get help is if you're safe, you have support. If you get out of detox, what do you have afterwards? If you don't have a family, you need to have support. So that's why the Warming Center and having businesses and being on the radio and having the news, write news articles, and having the people around us raise the awareness makes it more comfortable to actually get out of your comfort zone to receive that help. But it starts with you. I get a lot of questions because me and my husband, we get a lot of thank you, Emily and Skylar, thank you, Will, thank you, Dustin, thank you, Christina. But it's ultimately God who is doing this, and we are being His servants and listening to Him. And so I get, how do you help the homeless? And it's a hymnal as a kid. I hear it right now. It's let peace begin with me. You know, how do we do that? It's by loving yourself, loving your children, loving your neighbor, loving your community. So if you want a world to change, it starts with you. And I stress that the most. So instead of looking at our drug addicts as addicts, that is someone suffering from a mental health
And
disorder.
their brother, son,
Mother, father.
Yeah. So people, well, a lot of the times the families too, they'll get so exhausted by just repeated, like, okay, Billy Joe, quit doing drugs, and then 2 weeks later he's stealing, pawning off stuff, doing drugs again, and they don't know how to help them. They get so exhausted, and like they just need someone else to reach them at a different angle, and they might have been a lot of different places, and no one's really reached them with that angle, and that's like why it's so important to have people like Emily and Skylar and Will, because you're able to figure out what people really need. A lot of the times, like, Emily will just touch them and 2 seconds later their life is better because she'll get their insurance, she'll get their car out, like, and that's like the Warming Center will pay for stuff like that. So she'll give them a gift card, get them food. Like, their daughters came in like all nappy hair and everything, their hair's all brushed. She's got combs that were donated. They got fresh shoes on that were donated by Dr. DeQuattro or whoever else. Like, there's so many people in town that just do so much. So like I've seen it firsthand, you know, like to be honest, when I started talking to Emily and Skylar originally, I was like, well, they run the Warming Center, so they probably have patients that could come through there that I could help with. And then I got to know them, and it's like, holy crap, like these people are God's people, and they really do everything to help people. And I learned a lot from them, big time. So
Well, we're problem
it opens
solvers,
your
is the
eyes.
way I look at it, with compassion.
Yeah.
And the facility also, the treatment center, how it's set up, I know there were a lot of people at the ribbon cutting, and it was a great event, you know, and it really was an opportunity for people to see how different it is. It's not real clinical. It isn't just like a basic room with nothing in it, but I mean, you really have put a lot of effort into the facility for the purpose of people getting better. And that's what is amazing. You've done a great job.
Thanks.
Done a great job with that. And it's really good, the partnership with the Warming Center. And you know, you mentioned people in the community that have been donating, that have been giving of items, money, their time. What is the best way for someone, if they, you know, maybe don't know what to give, to come down and maybe see for themselves and see how they can participate or contribute?
We want to invite you to dinner. So
Yeah.
if you want to be a donor, come to dinner. If you want to come have delicious dinner, I'm making it. I'm a chef.
Yeah, what's on the menu for tonight?
So
And the Pizza Factory does it too. They donate food, so you could come on pizza night. Too.
So every Monday is pizza night for
Uh-huh.
Pizza Factory. On Tuesday, it's the American Legion. We want to get our vets totally involved. So
Nice.
probably 75% of our volunteers are veterans. So we honor our vets My grandfather died because he didn't get services and he took his own life. So I honor Will. I honor our veterans. I honor our people. Everybody is someone. So if you want to come to dinner, you'll see what we're about. You can have a tour. You can see where your God-given gifts could be used.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's the best way you can give. Obviously, we don't run off of love and prayers. We do need money. We are a very poor organization. We're only 3 years born, so we're grassroots.
Yeah.
We did get $10,000. That's the most we've received in one lump sum from a donor, so thank God. But you can donate by writing a check to PHHVI, that is Payson Homeless and Homeless Veteran Initiative, and that can be mailed to P.O. Box 2732, Payson, Arizona, and 85547. You can also drop off checks to Chase Bank and Copper State. We are both banking with them. We love to use our local banks. We are locals, so we take care of our locals.
Okay, and if somebody was bringing a check down to the warming center, what is that they put on the check again, the initials?
It is PHHVI, and that's for Payson Homeless and Homeless Veteran Initiative.
Homeless Veteran Initiative, gotcha. Yeah, and I want to emphasize and stress to people, it was an amazing blessing, the $10,000 donation, but as you said, it just, goes so far. So
It does. That's why we're working on a long-term solution with the mayor. I know you're on town council. We'd appreciate your support and take politics out of anything going forward with helping our safety net here in town.
Yeah, and where I was going is that it sounds like it is a lot, but it's not. I want people to understand that 10,000, much more is needed.
That's about a month of our expenses, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
We survive on local donations and donations of clothes, items. It's all used, and things that aren't used, we make sure to get to other churches in the area that may have needs and demands. We're networking. We're trying to expand our outreach and combine our forces so we're more efficient.
Yes, the Rimview Church stepped it up, and we were receiving so many different kinds of donations and stuff that we couldn't use. We didn't want to take to Goodwill. So we started taking to the Nook, to the Time Out Women's Shelter. We started seeing that some of the stuff they had a surplus of. So we started researching what places in the state of Arizona, like rural communities like the Navajo Nation, or places that are living like third world countries right here in the state of Arizona. We give our surplus, the Rimview Church goes through it in a storage unit, makes it beautiful, connects with the Navajo Nation or these rural communities that are suffering, and they donate. And we've connected a stronger connection, so when they have food that they can't use, they'll send it to us. So now we are being taken care of.
And we take care of others as well.
So the $10,000 that it takes to operate, we get people out of town that are non-locals. So we have a safe landing program, which operates by being vetted. They can't go one way and just, that's it. If they're not going to give our community back anything, we want them to give back to a community they're familiar with. So we'll Greyhound, or we will fly them one way to mom's house, to a rehab, to a transitional living. Maybe it's just back home to wife. But we do that, and we make sure they have a safe landing, and then they sign that they will not take any more resources from the Payson community because we need to use it for our local children, elderly, veterans, and our suffering poverty. We're fighting the war on poverty right here in Payson.
Yeah, it is great. I know next month have a friend coming in, Pastor Alan Mann, and he's with GraceWorks Global, and he was talking about, he was up on the reservation last month, a couple months ago, and he installs these units that extract water from the air and puts them in different places. He's down in South America now, but they can be installed anywhere, and it extracts. It has solar panels. It's totally a self-sufficient system, and it powers itself, with the solar panels, and extracts water from the air. So
Does that affect the weather?
I don't think it affects the weather. No,
You're the weather guy.
but no, it just takes moisture, and even in Arizona, it works to where up on the Navajo reservation, he put one up there for a gentleman, and but it just reminds me things like that.
That's the power of support.
Mhm.
You can't do it alone, and it takes a community and a village to definitely raise a healthy community.
Mm-hmm.
And so with businesses, if you want to help, you can always give us a call at 928-474-3190.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to research anything about us, just stop and have dinner. We love to just communicate and show you hands-on what we are about.
Mhm.
We are looking for an art teacher for our Friday days. It's called all ages art class, and that is for kids because on Friday our community really doesn't have anything,
Yeah.
and we want our parents and our kids to do something. So you can make soap. We've had soap making classes. We've had drawing. We've had painting rocks. So we're looking for an art teacher or retired artist.
I have to.
Or just someone that loves art.
Yeah, I have to tell Rock and Ron about that because every morning he draws. Yeah, that's like part of his morning routine is drawing, hands or
That
drawing
is cute.
different things and
That's
writing.
awesome.
So little clouds with some birds. So I have to say, Ron, hey, you can go down there, and he's a drummer, so he can do his drum.
That's also
and,
what we're looking for is someone to host a music group on Wednesdays.
Mm.
During dinner, we would like to have a jam session or an open mic so we can these people are talented and they're not all homeless. There are doctors, there are attorneys, there are chefs.
I'll bring my guitar, we'll play.
There are people that with awesome talents that are just staying dormant. Since COVID, we're not connected. So what we've really seen since COVID is the disconnect. And what we're trying to do is reconnect people back to themselves, back to their faith, back to their loved ones, their family, their community. So a lot of people are like, I'm a local. Well, I've been here for 29 years. I was born here. I'm a native. You know what a local is? It's someone who gives back to their community. So if they moved here and in 2 weeks they started volunteering at the Warming Center, you're a local.
Right.
Welcome. You're taking care of your community.
Yeah.
And you're trying to connect.
Yeah.
And so my biggest thing is donate your time to food banks, to your local nonprofits.
Yeah, there is definitely a difference. You can live in a community but not be part of the community.
Exactly.
And people that you see that people that come into a community and they maybe here a very short time, a year, 2 years, a few years, but they're more a part of the community than someone that's
I'm new
been
here.
here.
I rolled into town during the wildfires, and it's one reason I connected with Emily and other people here is I saw that there are people here that really are proud of our community and want it to be better. And I'm wired the same way.
Yeah.
What kind of town do I want to live in? I want a town that takes care of its veterans, takes care of its people that are struggling, and we look out for one another. We walk the walk and talk the talk. And there's a great group of people here. I'm so proud to be here in Payson and have found, Payson and. Everybody needs to step up, just care, look after one another, treat people how you'd like to be treated, and we can make Payson the best place to live ever. That's part of being a community, right?
Yeah, it is the best place to live ever, but it can always be better.
Yeah.
And there's always things
Together,
that we can do.
it's the only way to do it.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Just like that. 25 minutes gone.
All right.
And it's great talking with you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in, and we have to have you come in on the regular to give updates and also needs, if there's certain needs that you have, because there can be people listening that say, hey, that's me, I can do that, or I know someone. So it'd be great to have you in again. So thank you, Will,
Thank you.
Emily,
And
Dustin.
Mogollon Treatment Center is now officially open. We had to jump through some fun little hoops right at the last second, but we are officially open. So
Hey, fun hoops make life interesting, right?
yes,
They also teach patience.
Yes. And cost money.
All right. Well, thank you again, guys. Thank you,
Thank
everyone,
you,
for
guys.
listening. Thank you to Desert Financial for sponsoring our Community Spotlight program. And let's get back to the great music with some Steely Dan, Santana, Van Halen, and America. But first, an update from the National Weather Service.
Payson and surrounding areas.
There we go. And let me stop the stream. See you later, guys. Have a wonderful day.